What's going on YouTube? This is your guy Garrett from King's Blood Gaming, and I'm back with another video. So before we get into this, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and also hit that little bell on the side so you guys are notified each and every time I put out some new content. I appreciate you. So let's get into this, alright? Ladies and gentlemen, it is 2017. Yeah, it's 2017. Now, the last time I played a 30 frames per second shooter game, besides Destiny, and I quit that because it was trash, but the last time I played a 30 frames per second shooter was somewhere around late October 2013. But it was back when Battlefield 4 came out, right before we switched consoles, and I swear, I hated Battlefield 4 on Xbox 360. I could never understand why I didn't like Battlefield 4 on 360 back then. I just always preferred Call of Duty. I always knew Battlefield had higher resolution, better guns, and all kinds of stuff like that. But still, something was off about this game. When you watch the commercials, they were using PC footage, which looks like the Battlefields we know and love these days. So it took until I got Battlefield 4, like a month later on Xbox One, which is 60 frames per second most of the time, that I realized why I didn't like Battlefield on 360. And as I think about it now, I want to send a shout out to my boys Ryan and my boy Joe from Bang Bang Next Gen Gamers. They were right. Frames over resolution. They were right. Battlefield games on 360 were 30 frames per second, which gave it that dull cinematic look, and it kind of looked ashy, and you know, it just wasn't smooth. Like, you know, the movements and stuff like that just wasn't smooth to me. You know, the guns looked dull as hell and trash. It just wasn't for me. Now, the Call of Duty games I played were 60 frames per second, and they were somewhere like 500 something p. I remember they used to make big articles about them not being 720p, but they looked better. You know, they were 60 frames per second, making it smoother, giving the game that more live soap opera look, if you know what I mean. It just looked so much better, which brings me to the point of this video. After playing 60 frames per second shooters all this gen, I don't think I could go back to a 30 frames per second shooter. And with the developers of PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds saying that their game is running stable at 30 frames per second on Xbox One X, and knowing that this game's scope is huge, that's troubling to me. Competing in 30 frames per second is terrible. Terrible. The best 30 frame competitive shooter, and that was probably the early Halo games, man. Like 1 through 3. Like, I'm sorry, man. And like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you guys are seeing me as the David Downer at a time when Xbox guys are supposed to be happy, but I'm being real. Like, the time of the 30 frames per second shooters is over, bro. That's why I don't play Destiny. I would never compete in Destiny. Like, I look at shooter games as the games that I compete in. Well, certain shooter games. I just picked up Gears and I'm into that real heavy right now. But, you know, like, I was looking at PUBG as something like, yeah, I like this. I could compete in this. But 30 frames, bro? Nah, man. I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could do that, baby. No. And I have to be honest. If PUBG is 30 frames per second on Xbox One X, that's an L. And I will have to pass. I can deal with 30 frames per second in open world action games, RPGs, but I don't think I could deal with that on my shooters. Everybody knows I'm a shooter. I love shooter games. Nah. I hated Battlefield back in the 360 games. I mean, back in the 360 days. The game looked and felt like shit to me on that console. But when I got Battlefield 4, I never looked back at Call of Duty again. Like, Battlefield 4 on Xbox One took me away from Call of Duty. Literally. I mean, it's crazy because, you know, like PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, it looks cool on PC, but that 30 frames per second makes me truly want to skip this game, man. I might have to pass. Let me know what you guys think, man. You guys can deal with a shooter at 30 frames per second, man? I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I could do it, man. You know, I love the Titanfalls, Call of Duties I can deal with. I love the Battlefields, you know, the shooters at 60 frames. I don't think I could go back to a 30 frames per second shooter unless it's like a mech game or something. Let me know what you guys think, man. Hit that comment box. I'm out of here. King's Blood, out.